In 1967, I was a missile targeting officer at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana. We had Minuteman I missiles at the time, and eventually ended up to Minuteman II for one of the squadrons. My job was to go out and restart the missile and put it back on alert. In March of 1967, I got a call saying a missile went off alert in Oscar flight. Well, that's all the information was given. They said a missile went off alert. So I had called my team together. We went down to the hangar. I no sooner walked into the hangar, and a friend of mine walked up to me and says, "Have you heard what happened?" "No, I just got here." He says, "Well, a missile, a UFO, was reported over Roy, Montana, which is where Oscar flight was, and all missiles went off alert." And I said, "It's not possible. Couldn't happen." So I went to a place called Job Control, just to confirm this. And sure enough, on Job Control, they have a wall, and they have green lights where all the missiles are on alert. We had 200 missiles at the time, except for one corner, all 10 missiles were off alert, all 10. The whole flight was off alert, all red. And so then I said, yeah, they were off alert. It doesn't happen. And they told me, yes, it was a sheriff in Roy, Montana, reported a UFO at the same time all the missiles went off alert. And they told me, go ahead. They assigned me 4 missiles to restart. He says, go ahead, get your team ready, but stay here. Don't leave the hangar yet until we're sure that all the activity out there has ceased and there's nothing else going on. Then we can release you. So I stayed around for the hangar for a couple of hours. And then just before we were released, we had to go into a special briefing. Normally we go into a briefing where they give you what your job is, like road conditions at the time, weather conditions, anything else we may need to know. This time they brought us into a special briefing and they told us there's UFOs out in the area. He said, here's what you have to do. If you're on your road and you see a UFO, let us know by radar and go to the nearest launch control facility. And okay, if you're breaking into the site, just withdraw from the site, give us a call and let us know what's happening. You see a UFO. However, if you're in the site and you're doing your work, I was to take myself, my team members, and all our targeting tapes, take them downstairs into the silo, close the silo, and we all take a guard with us. We have to leave him on top. So I went, nothing happened on the way out there. And targeting, the restarts, I had 4 of them, and they went rather smoothly. Missiles went right up as if nothing had happened to them. And I came back, and then was given another briefing. I was told I wasn't supposed to talk about this, but I am coming out now. And that's it.
Okay. You have mentioned to me in various interviews that while you were at the MIMS hangar, the missile maintenance hangar, you went across to a temporary command post, and there seemed to be a bit of excitement there. Go ahead and describe that.
Yes, the same person that told me that all 10 missiles went off alert also told me that there was a UFO that went down into a canyon near a little town not far from Malmstrom called Belt, Montana. There was a canyon there, and there was a UFO trapped in a canyon. And right. But he told me I'd go to the command post. They set up a command post in the colonel's briefing room. So I went over there, and I heard what they were looking at. They had a radio contact with the people out in the field, and they were telling me about the lights. And now there's blue lights, now there's green lights. I was looking at the UFO down at the bottom of the canyon. Now the canyon's too steep to send men down in the night. This is at nighttime. Walls are too steep to send men down at night, or even a helicopter down through that. So they're going to take, as soon as daylight comes, they're going to take some helicopters and go down in there. And I found out later, as soon as daylight came, they sent the helicopters, and this UFO just went right through the helicopters and out, between the helicopters and out. And so there's quite a bit of excitement with the people actually thought they had captured a UFO.
Okay. And when you first arrived at the hangar, and you were told informally by one of your colleagues that UFOs had been involved with the incident at Oscar Flight. What was going through your head? What were you thinking when you were told that?
Well, before I was thinking I didn't want to go to Oscar Flight. It's the furthest flight out. But I had my job to do. And then they told me that all 10 missiles went down. I said, my first reaction is I didn't believe it. No 10 missiles go down at the same time for no reason. And so I went to Job Control, which has a board on one of their walls, which shows that the missiles which were off and which were on, and all missiles in Oscar Flight were down. So my first reaction, I didn't believe it. This doesn't happen.
Do you recall, UFOs were considered a very controversial subject, of course, and some people believed in them, some people didn't. Do you recall what you were thinking when you heard UFO? Were you puzzled, shocked, dubious?
I was puzzled, rather dubious maybe, but I just didn't believe it until they told me at Job Control that a UFO was seen and the missiles went down at the same time. So I was convinced, yes, it has to be a UFO. It's the only possible explanation. Nothing else would knock down 10 missiles at once.
Do you remember it's been many, many decades. You can't be expected to remember precise wording, but do you remember the gist of what you were told during what you called the special UFO briefing before you went out? What did the man who was briefing you, who was he, what did he say to you?
I don't remember his name. He was an NCO. I don't think I've ever seen him before, but he just told me that there's UFOs in the areas. He did say the UFOs were knocking down our sites. And then he told me what to do in case of a UFO. If I was on the site or breaking into the site or in the site or on the way to the site. But he did say the UFOs were knocking down our sites, our missiles.
And do you recall what you were thinking? Were you shocked or?
Shocked. Because here's something that doesn't happen every day, obviously. But a UFO and all of our missiles going down, I was shocked also by the fact that these UFOs have some kind of a control over our missiles apparently, because they can knock them down. They bring them off alert. And that was disconcerting to me. I was really, even to this day, still concerned about that.
When you came back from the field and you brought up 4 Oscar's missiles, what was the nature of the debriefing? Did they mention the UFOs again?
Yes, they did. And that's when they told us not to talk about it. And they did say that all of our missiles went up easily. And they just said, let's not talk about it. It didn't happen.
Now, you mentioned to me approximately 2 weeks later that something similar happened. Go ahead.
A similar incident happened on what we call India Flight, which is a bit west of the base, southwest of the base. And a UFO was sighted over there, but only 5 missiles, and 5 missiles went down, but only 5. And I had to go out and start 3 of them. The same incident.
And you got the same special UFO briefing prior to going out?
I got that same UFO briefing for 2 or 3 weeks after the incident.
And you were not required to sign a national security non-disclosure agreement?
I did not sign anything. Whether I was supposed to or whether they gave me one, I don't recall signing it.
What do you think UFOs are?
This is only my opinion because I have no knowledge beyond what that. They're probably, maybe they're extraterrestrial beings of some sort. They have control. What they have, they're interested in our military. And they have control over our missile sites. And this is my biggest thing, is somebody that controls our missile sites. And I just don't like that idea. But they're probably, very well could be extraterrestrial beings. I can't say for sure because I've never actually seen one.
Skeptics have said that what you experienced and what Bob Salas have reported really amounted to some sort of Air Force drill, readiness drill. How would you respond to that?
Okay, I've heard of that, but I tell you right now, the Pentagon, the military will not shut down 10 strategic missiles just to hold us friggin' test. It's not worth it. If we hold down, we had 1,000 missiles at the time. If you take 10 down, you destroy a little bit of our national security, and the Pentagon, the Air Force, SAC would not do that. And they never have done it.
Why are you speaking out at this time? Why are you going public about this?
I want this to be known. I want people to realize that we have somebody messing around with our nukes, messing around with our military. I want the government to realize that and take a look into it. And the government would only do it if the people come out and say, hey, let's do something about it. And that's the main reason I want to come out. I just want it brought out so it can be studied.